to talk about harmony and how that relates to the blues. This is transposable. We can do it in any key. I know I've been in A with all the material so far, and I told you it's towards the heart of the neck, you could say, or the center between the E octave and the open E at the 12th fret, from the nut to the 12th fret. But anyway, regarding harmony with the blues, the most basic of blues, we say 1-4-5 progressions. 12-bar blues, the most common form, or an 8-bar blues. But usually the chords we're going to be using again, we'll go to G for now. And I'll go ahead and play a G7 chord, which would be the 1 chord in the key of G. And if I was doing a 12-bar blues, I'd go 4 beats on that, then 4 beats on the 4 chord, which was a C9 chord. And then maybe I'll throw in a G9 to walk up to the 4 chord again. Then back to the 1, G7. Then to the 5 chord, D9. Back to the 4 chord, C9. Then to the 1. And I had a little turnaround at the end, which I'll get to in the next segment. Again, going over these chords, the 1 chord in the key of G is a G7 in this case with the blues, or a G9, where I have an extra added note. G7 you could play throughout the entire scope of the neck, from open strings down here, first position, like so. If not as common, in the blues using this one, but there's components to each chord that we play, or chord chemistry we can say, and the way the chords are built. With a G7 chord, you have the notes of what's called a root, which is G, a third interval, which is B, a fifth interval, which is D, and then we add the 7th, which is F, and that's a minor 7th, we call it, lowered 7th note, because in the key of G, G is normally sharp, but with the blues, we lower that 7th. Consequently, you have G, B, D, and F, and you can play that all through the neck. G, B, D, F, and we can arpeggiate, break up the chord notes, or play them together like this. Even if I'm only playing the top 3 strings here, that's still a G7. Or even if I'm only playing these 3 strings, now the root's not present here, but the 7th interval, or the 3rd, and the 5th are present. Or you can do like the very simple open string chords we learned when we first started playing guitar, like that. Sometimes just taking a few notes is the most effective. I think I got this from Larry Carlton years ago, but just using 3 fingers and doing that sort of thing. I think Freddie Green, a lot of people that do jazz stuff will take just a few instead of playing 4 strings, 6 strings, whatever the case may be. When we first learned, we kind of do 5 or 6 string chords. And then as we go on, we find out we don't really need to play all those strings. And so with the G7, again, the 1 chord, we have the notes G, B, D, F, and we can play those all throughout the neck. G, B, D, F. Okay, and positions of the chords can be played throughout the neck as well. First position I showed you, and here's a little combination with the 3rd fret, 2nd fret, 3rd fret on string 6 at the 3rd fret, 5th string, 2nd fret, 4th string, 3rd fret, and you can add your pinky on the 3rd string at the 4th fret. That'll be a G7, or like these little pieces of the chord you can do throughout the neck. I use that on Red House, but in the key of A, and that can go on again throughout the neck.